Hello and welcome. This is Amanda, the Nerdy Krafter, and I'm here today with our Make It Simple Monday challenge that we are doing in the Art Impressions Way Facebook group. So if you haven't checked it out yet, if you're interested in art impressions and want a community of amazing, supportive, loving people, this is the place to go. Check this out. This month's challenge for February is mailbox. So pull out whatever mailbox you have in your collection or something that inspires you as a mailbox. I think of like Valentine's Day and the mailboxes that we get, but it can be any type of mailbox. So pull those out. Join us. I've got a few here on my desk that are kind of some of my faves. Last week I did this one from the July 2025 throwback. At first, I didn't want to do any of the throwbacks because I figured, what if somebody sees it and they can't get it? But there are people out there that might have extras. And I've got to use what I have. We have to stop hoarding our supplies and use them. That's the whole purpose of this challenge. So Debbie is the one who came up with this challenge. I was asking after the advent calendar, what products do people want to see? How can I keep involved? Because I love doing the advent last year. So this is what she said. Let's get together and do a challenge and do a Make It Simple Monday. So my goal is to utilize as much as possible an ATC or like a baseball size card. It's a 2.5 by 3.5. They're little artist trading cards. And then I take these and I turn them into a card throughout the month. Last month, I did one of the Call Me Crafty Al sheet load of cards. I don't know what I'm going to do this month. I did last week's, but I haven't yet decided how I want to put my cards together, so that will be coming. So today, I've decided to pull out 2 of my sets. Because I'm doing an ATC size, I decided to use my exclusive 2022, but then I also wanted to bring in from my flowering mailbox. This is a little bit bigger, so it won't fit. So let me bring in this one. So this is the exclusive, so it's nice and small, fits perfectly on an artist trading card. But this one will take up the entire card, and I don't know which direction I want to do it. So I was thinking I might bring in the little birdie from the flowering mailbox and kind of join a couple of my sets. So we've got that. I did love the little squirrels on top of here. I've got the little kitty cats that I could peek over the top. I know they're in the basket here, but they could be causing mischief and peeking over the top of the mailbox. We'll see. I don't know. I'm just playing it by ear, kind of seeing where creativity leads. But these are the ones that kind of inspired me from using these 2 sets here. So let's get to playing. My goal when I do these cards is that I'm doing them for the first time with you. I want you to see how easy it is, how quickly you can do these. And I want you to see if I make mistakes and grow and learn from them. So that way you do not need to be perfect in any way, shape, and or form. You just do you. And 99% of the time, we can work ourselves out of any oopses, which I absolutely love. But more important than that, just have fun. Pulling out all my goodies, all my supplies. I should have been more prepared, but it's late. I had the day off work this weekend, and so I was getting some stuff done, getting ready for the week, doing chores, doing some cleaning, organizing. So it's just never enough time to get it all done. The other set that I was thinking of bringing in is a new one that just released at the end of January. It's a scalloped rectangular die set. I think some of these shapes, so I think it's my ATC card is a little too short for this one because I wouldn't get the full scallop. This is an ATC size scalloped. But maybe doing this little one. So this little one here would go really good with this one with a little birdie on top. So this would still be the size of an ATC. And then I can layer it with this one with another piece of paper behind. So let's play. Let's see what we can come up with. I just kind of want to get an idea of how much it would trim off if I use that. So I make sure to keep my mailbox on the outside of that. So first thing you do, first time using the stamp, is prime and prep it. You can use an eraser. So if you have a Tombow eraser, just come in and erase with it. I'm kind of old school. I've watched Bonnie craft a number of times, and she just takes her fingers and wipes them. So I've learned Bonnie habits. Usually when I'm crafting, by the end, I'll have some ink on my fingertips, and I absolutely love it. So let's pull out the first colors I'm going to need. And we are in February, so let's pull in, I think, a little bit of pink. I think I'm going to do the flag in the pink. I may do, I have the N25. I've got two N25s in here. Oh, and I love lavender too. I'm not sure. Okay, for now, we're just going to start with these ones. So I want my mailbox. So if you look in the artist drawn one here, she did her mailbox more in like the blue phase. So I think she used the 525 or 526, sorry, for more of the mailbox here. So I like that. But I'm thinking I want to go more the old wood. I love the, not the wood, like the old metal. So to get that, I need to do brown and then blue as my final color. In the wood, I may do the opposite with the wood. So, okay. So for my wood post, I'm going to do blue down here and brown for my mailbox. This is the smooth side of my paper, so I'm going to flip it over. I always try to do my stamp off. You want to do it on the same type of paper that you are going to be watercoloring on. So don't do it on a scratch piece of like white paper. Do it on a scratch piece of watercolor paper. So to not, waste paper, sometimes I pull out another one. Sometimes I just use the same one I'm working on. I would say I am more of a lazy crafter. I tend to do things quick, fast, easy. That's just kind of my style, I guess. So I'm just going to kind of center this. I'm using my glass mat here to kind of find where my center is so that I can line everything up. I could pull out my stamp positioner, but these stamps work really well. The red rubber. Now I did miss a little line here, so another good cause for bringing out my stamp positioner. But one of the easiest ways to fix that is just grab a pencil, and I can just kind of sketch those lines in that I missed. And then when I bring in the watercolor, it will all work itself out. So again, I want you to see when there's errors so you know how to fix them. Dip your brush in the water, pinch it off, and I'm going to slowly start pulling the color from the lines. So when I pull the color from the lines, I'm just tapping the lines. So I'm coming in very close to the line, and I'm just slightly tapping it. So you can see I'm not obstructing the line. I'm not going over different areas. I'm going to stay within each little area. And I'm rotating this paper. I'm going to make it as easy as possible for my hand and rotate the paper. Let it do the work for me. So now this is a rounded image. So I want to make sure it's concaved and rounded. So I'm going to bring in a little bit from the sides. But most of what I want to pull in is I want to pull down from the top, pull up from the bottom, and leave a little bit of white band in the middle so that it looks like it's rounded. I am not the best with light sourcing. I do what looks good to me, what makes me happy. So to repeat this grayscale on my palette, it is 2 lines of blue, about equal, to a half line of brown. That makes this gray look. I'm going to lightly pinch. I left more water on my brush that time. I didn't pinch it off completely. And you'll get to the point where you want to pinch with your fingers because you'll get the feel of the water that's on there. And you'll figure out how much you're pulling off. You don't want to strangle your brush by pinching off all of the water that's on there. You want to leave a little bit of water. But you want to make sure that you're not leaving blobs of water. I say you don't want the water to puddle on your image. When I first started this, what I would do is have a scratch piece of paper right next to me to tap my brush off on to see if I had a puddle of water. Because I wanted to see if it was puddling before I actually put it on my paper. So now this looks like a little bit of a hot mess, and that's okay. So I've cleaned my brush, and I'm coming in with a clean brush, and I'm going to push this color back because I want my highest concentration of color towards the outside, not the inside. And then I'm going to push, I'm like doing a scrubbing motion, swish, 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 pushing that color back. Smooths out those edges. Gives it a nice little shadow. Remember, leaving white is good. I know it's scary. 969. So now I really dried the brush this time because I want more to see like grainy lines here. I'm going to extend this post down a little bit. I'm going to bring in a little bit of that gray. Helps darken it up. Gives it some more shadowing. I will put some grass and some foliage down here. But for now, I like that. My bird, I'm going to do the same. So I'm going to do brown first. Blue second. Now I'm not going to tap off with the blue because I'm going to bring in my stamp positioner. Now I added a little piece of washi tape to the top of my stamp positioner because it is clear and I lose it on my mat all of the time. So what I'm doing is I'm lining up this plexi right in the edge of my L bracket here. This allows me then to take my little birdie and place him wherever I want on my image. Bring my bracket back in. Remove, oops, I think he was floating a little bit. Hang on. There we go. Place him on there. Remove this. Huff on the stamp. And then lightly set it down. And then we have a beautiful little bird. And he's sitting right where I want him to sit. Now, the stamp positioner is one of my favorite tools. I bring it out and use it quite often. Same thing with this. I'm just going to tap a little bit of the color out. I'm not going to touch his little feet. I'm going to leave his little eyes as wide as I can. And I want like a little blue bird. So I'm going to bring this 565. And I just, the smallest little piece there. So I like the gray with the color because it does give some shadowing, does allow for some layering of that color. So cute. I want to give him, let's do a little yellow beak, 993. That's a hard color to see on the mat, sorry. And I'm just going to tap that into his beak. Perfect. And then I want to find my micron, my twin tone here. And I'm going to darken in his eye. And then just pull in a little bit. Okay, and I thought I was going to bring in my pink. 725. And rather than a red flag, I'm going to bring in a little pink flag. So stinking cute. All right. I also want to find my micron or my twin tone. Why do I keep calling it micron? I just had to buy a new micron pen. So that is on my mind. I had used up one of my pens, which is so rare. So it was exciting to buy that. But it was like, don't forget, don't forget, don't forget. I try to do a good job of putting things on my to-do list. I don't forget them, but you know how that goes. Just want to darken up a couple little areas here. It's going to leave a little bit of a shadow. Clean my brush. Just lighten up that shadow a little bit. The important part is not overworking your project. Let it breathe. Let the colors settle. Because remember, these colors will dry back, and then you can come back in later and add more if you need more, okay? So don't overwork it. Don't overthink it. Let it breathe. Let's see. I did like the little foliage, and so there's a cute little foliage set from this set also, from the 4607 set. So I think I'm going to use this one. I use the vines quite often, but I think I'm going to step out of my comfort zone and use something else. This is all about using what we have in our supply, and I'm only going to do a piece of this. So I'm going to choose to just color in this left side bunch of flowers and the one in the middle and not the one on the right. The best part about these stamps is you have the ability to select just pieces of a stamp. You don't have to do all of it. Then I'm going to bring in some beautiful little flowers, and I'm just going to grab this little cluster again on the left hand side. There's 5 little flowers here, and I'm only going to grab the 3 on the left hand side. And I see a little bit of purple in there, so most likely the last time I used this, I had a little purple on there, which I absolutely love. I love adding a little bit of color combo with it, so I sometimes will come in and just grab 1 or 2 and bring of the little blooms and just bring a little bit different color in. Or if I've overstamped and I didn't get enough detail, I can bring some of the detail back with just a hint of color to it. All right, I like that. So now let's grab some of my grass. So I have this little bag that I travel with, and my base floral and foliage set along with my chair set is a set I always have with me. It is my favorite set. So I keep that in a little plastic bag in my travel case so the stamps don't run away, because sometimes they lose their stickiness a little bit and like to run away, and I don't want to lose anything. So I keep them in that little plastic bag. I probably have other, I'm just thinking, I have these really cool sleeves I can put them in. Why I didn't do that, I don't know. Oh, you know, life. I just giggle at myself now thinking of that. I'm like, oh yeah, I have these really cool storage bags. So these are my storage bags that I have that have a little Velcro on it. I'm like, why don't I put it in one of those? I don't know. I think it's just good that you can laugh at yourself Because if you can't laugh at yourself, who can? Grab a little bit of that 969 I had left on my palette here. Ground this so it's not, again, floating out in space. I did the flicking technique with the grass and just a pat on the foliage. I'm just going to come in 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm going to double clean this brush. And I'm going to grab some water, and I'm not going to tap it off. This is called a wet on wet technique. You can see there's a little bit of pink left on there. It's okay. So I'm going to add water to my paper, and this is blobbing the water on. So you can see there's a little bit of that water on there. You can actually see it in the camera, which is nice. And what this allows is, I always struggled with putting in kind of a wispy sky. So we're going to do 526. And I got it too dark. And it's always easier to darken things up than it is to lighten things up. So with a wet on wet, I'm very lightly tapping the color in. One, I didn't pick up a lot of color, so I just tap a little bit. And again, my brush is still super wet. I did not pinch it off. This is one of the times I don't pinch my brush. But it allows the color to move. So one, it moves naturally. So it goes and does whatever it wants with the water. And then two, I can spread it. And because the water is there, even though it looks darker right now, it will dry back later. I'm going to grab a little bit of that 565. I love to add some layers and textures to it. This one, the 565, also has like a purple undertone to it. Just giving a little bit of a shadow. Coming off my mailbox. I find this so calming. When I'm teaching a class, I remind my students to shake out their shoulders, don't hunch over, sing a little song in your head, watch a TV show. Don't overthink your project. With this, it's actually the faster and quicker you do a project, the better it turns out, which is kind of counterintuitive, but it's absolutely amazing how this works when you're just quick, fast, easy, and simple. Okay, I'm going to put all of my goodies away, all my pens. Before I do that, I probably should have closed my water because I am one of those people that has a tendency to spill things. Why I love this container. So this is just a medicine bottle and I can travel with it, fill it up with water wherever I go. You don't need a lot of water with this technique, so that's fabulous. Okay, so I'm going to just take 2 seconds, put everything away. These are just little acetate sheets that I store all my stamps on within those little Velcro sleeves. And the reason why I'm taking just a minute to put everything away is one, I don't lose it. Things don't go missing. And two, I want to die cut this. So I need to make sure everything's out of the way when I bring my die cutting machine in. Okay, oh, that's the larger one. This is the smaller one. Okay, so I did for Christmas, I got myself, Santa Claus brought me the new Spellbinders die cutting machine. So I'm super excited. So this is its inaugural cut. I did prime it earlier and it is a lavender one because purple is my favorite color. And I do have the scrapbook.com magic mat. So again, first time cutting, first time testing this out. We will see if this all works. Oh, I might be able to cut both at the same time. So I'm going to put this on a slight angle. I try not to cut straight on with my cuts. And that one fits perfect too. And then I use the World's Best Tape by Spellbinders. This tape is amazing for holding projects in place. I have a row of it sitting on my desk. And here she is. She is absolutely gorgeous. This was on sale, I think, for Black Friday. And I'm like, oh, I've been watching her for a while. And I'm like, oh goodness, I think I need this. Put this up for my desk just a little bit so I can get all the way through. Beautiful. I always roll it back towards me. It just makes it easier to remove the plates. I don't think you have to go over it twice. But again, this is the first time cutting with it, so we will find out. Place this just off to the side in case I do need to do another trim. The watercolor paper is a little thicker. Oh, that one came out like butter. Just like butter, I tell you. And I love this magic mat because I'm not cutting into my plates and it saves my plates. I have a larger one for my larger die cutting machine, and I have this smaller one that fits the Scout. Oh, so stinking cute. I love these nested dies. Yay! So a stamp set that I've had, I have to go back and look real quick. Hang on. This stamp set I've had now. It was one of the throwbacks, I think from 2022. Let's look. 2022, and I haven't used it yet. So it took me 4 years to use it. So sad. So sad. But I have pulled it out. I have used it. I've been starting to use both a VersaFine and then for my sentiments, this Lisa Horton Cloud 9. Oh, it stamps like a dream. But I'm really liking this VersaFine Claire. I saw another social media person craft with it. And it's just beautiful. The pine brown color on it, just gorgeous. And I do just love a distressed edge. I think it just gives it a real beautiful finished edging. One of my goals this year, not only is to get back into my watercoloring more, which this Make It Simple Monday is encouraging, but also to use what I have. So I'm participating in a Paper Stash Smash challenge also, and that one is once a month. I choose different paper pads to smash. February is 12 by 12. So I'm working on some Easter cards. I'm getting ready for birthday cards for March. I'm going to be doing some cards for Cubs for March. So you'll see some birthday cards coming out soon. Clean up that mat because when I flip this card over to glue it down, I do not want to accidentally glue it. The other thing is use what I have. I have some of these amazing tape runners that I've received from different retreats. They came in my kit and they're sitting around and I need to put them to use. Oh my goodness. Absolutely stinking cute. So thank you again so much for joining me. This is Amanda with the Nerdy Crafter, and this is Make It Simple Monday. Woo! Almost forgot. So come join me on the Art Impressions Way Facebook group. Comment and love on all of the amazing artists that post their work in there. Thank you again. This is for the love of an amazing company and great products. And Debbie, thank you for challenging me to pull out my supply and use what I have. Hugs and have a great day.